know.
You know what the best part is about this not working to go live on Facebook? We don't have to do that awkward, hey, are we live yet thing like we do every time.
Are we live?
That's pretty dope. We are not live.
Are you
Sorry
recording?
for everybody who is horny to see us live, but
Are you
no, we're
recording?
not. We are recording though.
Are you? Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
Are we live yet?
We are very live.
Hey, internet.
Hi, internet. How are you?
It's been a minute.
It's been 3 weeks.
It was 3 jam-packed fucking news-filled weeks too, because every time
Oh man, there's
anything
so much
happened,
stuff happened.
I was like, oh shit, we need to talk about that on the podcast. And then the podcast kept getting delayed, mostly due to my having 2 children and not planning my life at all or preparing in any way to have 2 children.
And for people who don't have kids, which is me for now, I've been told by many people that once you hit the 3-month mark of your baby, they just start fucking crying all the time nonstop, and it's hell. And Aiden just turned 3 months like a week ago, right?
Yeah, it sucked. He was so chill for that, and we were like, oh, maybe we got lucky and he's just a super chill baby. So we like make all these plans, and we're flying to fucking Key West this weekend, and we're going to Mexico in like 4 weeks, and we're planning a trip to Seattle, and we have like all this shit booked. And now we're like, oh, we were supposed to go to a Canucks game tomorrow night. And now he's just like a fucking shithead who loses his shit all the time. And we're like, we were a little too cocky on that one, so we'll see.
You know what you should do? You should get him to go to the gym and exercise. Joe Rogan says that helps with your anger.
Yeah.
Oh, I want before we
Rogan.
start talking about the important stuff, I want to use this platform to bitch about something that has affected my life in the most minuscule way, but I'm going to overreact because fucking Starbucks pointflation. Now it costs 200 stars to buy a drink instead of 150.
Yeah, but they warned everyone well in advance. So
Did they?
Oh yeah. Like everyone was like, hey, go and use all your stars at Starbucks by like this date because Starbucks is making changes to their loyalty program.
Wait, am I not on the Starbucks social? I heard nothing about this. I mean, it's marginal because I don't know. I just whenever I have enough points, I buy it or whatever. But I just saw it today and I was like, that's outrageous.
I stockpile my points because I'm like, I grew up in like a pretty like not financially well off household. So
yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the same with my credit card. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to keep my points for when I'm poor again. And then I'll be able to like make my credit card payments and buy coffee from Starbucks still, which will obviously be my 2 greatest concerns when I am poor.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't have your Starbucks, then being poor would really suck.
Yeah. I think that's the worst thing. You talk to any homeless person on the street and they're like, you know, the worst part about
I miss Starbucks
is
the most.
Roof over my head, could live without it. Starbucks, a pumpkin spice latte. Fuck no. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 200 and something.
231.
231 of Outrage Factory.
I'm looking at it. I didn't actually remember.
That's you could have just. I would have believed that you.
I totally remembered that because I am a brain genius and a scientist. I'm a math counting scientist.
The podcast where we look at the things that made people mad online and explain why they're dumb for caring. I am Derek Bolin.
I'm Dale the Rooter.
Let's get into it because we got to wrap this fucker up in
20 minutes. Because I wasted 20 minutes trying to fucking connect to Facebook and it doesn't work anymore, which is fine.
Thanks, Zuckerberg.
Because now, if you're watching this on video, you're on YouTube. And if we get enough views, we might make money after 5 years of doing the podcast.
We might not get a strike for providing misinformation. So,
are they still doing that?
I don't know.
Can you believe that Spotify still has like learn more about COVID tags on podcasts when it's like, does anybody still actually care about this?
Oh, there's a whole like, no, I would say generally people don't care, but like there's still like whole fucking camps of people on both sides, the like super pro vaccine and the super anti-vaccine. And every time anything happens, they attribute it. There's like the people who are like, oh, I'm going out in public and I'm fucking quadruple masking and I can't believe people aren't doing this anymore. COVID's so serious. And then there's people who like a celebrity gets in a car accident and dies and they're like, were they vaxxed? Were they vaxxed? Did that cause the car accident? They were vaxxed. Oh, so weird. People never died suddenly until the COVID vaccine came along. And now they're dying suddenly all the time.
Did you hear about that wild shit talking about the people on one extreme in Idaho where two lawmakers are trying to introduce legislation to criminalize giving the COVID-19
COVID shot, yeah.
vaccines?
mRNA vaccines?
MNRA.
I don't know.
MNRA? Pfizer and Moderna.
Yeah.
Only those two are the ones.
Yeah, the ones that rewrite your genetic code and turn you into a lizard person.
The ones that aren't actually a vaccine, they're just gene manipulation.
Yeah.
I
only got 2 of those, and I got 2 of the actual vaccines, so I'm only like a quarter lizard.
Oh, damn, you're 4? I'm only 2. I got the AstraZenecas and I bounced.
Yeah, you also got COVID twice, so
I sure did. And you know what? I didn't die, so I'm fine.
You're probably
worked. Good. Unless I have long COVID, which I either have long COVID or asthma, or I'm just out of shape.
Well, that's
one of the 3.
Long COVID is just like now this catch-all for like everything. It's like, I'm fucking lazy. It must be long COVID. The long COVID got, and it's just going to be that way probably our entire lifetimes. It's like if I'm ever like just like fucking phoning it in or being lazy, next time I have to bail on you at the last minute for this podcast, I'm going to be like, Dale, long COVID got me.
Yeah, next time I can't get it up with my girlfriend, I'll be like, I said long COVID. Nothing to do with my T cells or libido.
Short COVID, am I right?
Short COVID. Yeah. Oh, let's talk about. Are we done talking about COVID? And how, I don't know. It's so annoying because it's like at this point nobody gives a shit about COVID, but it's still like, will we get a strike? Will YouTube fucking poke our beeholes if we talk about it too much?
I don't know. Hey, let's test it out. Hey, if you go and get the mRNA vaccines,
you're going to jail.
Your heart will suddenly stop and Jesus will forsake you. You will not enter the kingdom of heaven because your body is unclean.
Jesus will put those blood clot veins, worm things right into your fucking organs.
Jesus Christ.
And plug you right up. You're not even going to purgatory anymore. You're just going straight to see Jesus. He's not even waiting till the second coming. He's like, you got COVID? Come straight up. Or down.
Or down, depending on whether you're...
It's not my place to judge. That's God's place.
That is. Only God can judge us now.
Yeah.
You want to talk about
news? Yeah, let's talk about these fucking balloons.
Let's talk.
All bricked up to talk about balloons.
All right. What's the word in the conspiracy circles about the balloons?
The word in the conspiracy circles about these 3 balloons is 1, they're not balloons. They don't know what they are. 2, they're not from China. They don't know where they came from. 3, they're not aliens. They don't know who or what or where they came from.
Oh, they're not aliens?
They say they're not aliens. But on one hand, no, conspiracy people are like, it's Bigfoot. Conspiracy people have jumped the shark. I'm over it. Fucking, like, I still like conspiracies and shit, but anytime something like this is, they're like, it's Project Bluebeam, and you're like, all right, back it up. Do you know Project Bluebeam?
No.
It's this like theory that the governments are going to slowly fake an alien invasion just so they can go to war and like say we're fighting aliens, and they'll start by putting like, basically they're saying that Starlink, Elon Musk satellites, are going to be these like 3D projectors that will project aliens and they'll look real and stuff, and they'll be like, then we'll spend all this money going to war. And then fucking shit like Russia v Ukraine happens, and they're like, well, they're just having a proxy war, so I guess Project Bluebeam's off because they're giving all the money to the weapons manufacturers right now anyway.
Yeah,
so we don't need to fake an alien invasion.
No, there's always going to be a conflict where we
Yeah.
can make sure the arms dealers are still making money. I mean, that's what I go to bed at night wondering how some Boeing exec is going to, buy a fucking second private island for
Yeah.
profiting off of people's death and suffering.
Yeah, and I bet your kid just asked you, he's like, "Daddy, is is the weapon manufacturers gonna get enough of the taxpayer money to send weapons to maybe get to the front lines of the Ukraine?" Because there's that whole thing where they just lost track of, like, 60% of them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, oops. Well, but the manufacturers still collect the money, and then they're just like, oh,
Yeah, they're like, "We
uh,
sent the weapons, that's not them in the back. Those are the UPC codes don't match, those are different ones."
yeah, so supply chain issues still happening. Sorry.
Wow, we really shouldn't have had China make all of our drugs and weapons, huh? That was a mistake.
So these balloons. So there was
Yeah.
like the initial one, and
Mhm.
they like spotted it flying over America, and they eventually shot it down. They were like, "Oh, it's a fucking Chinese spy balloon," and everyone was losing their fucking minds about it.
Yeah.
And the initial thing was that like, okay, well, like, fuck, what fucking surveillance information is it gonna a balloon gonna capture that like there are thousands of satellites in orbit right now pointed directly at every person on Earth watching their every like what the fuck is a balloon gonna do?
Actually, Derek, I've listened to many podcasts and they're saying that everybody has it's called static surveillance because satellites just fucking apparently whip around the earth and whatever, but balloons stay in one spot so they can more closely watch like the nuclear silos in Montana and shit. So apparently China has these static surveillance balloons as well as American stuff, and they're saying the only reason we know about this one is because a commercial pilot saw it and then people could see it from the ground because apparently it was lower than every other one. Because usually
They're usually
this
above even like
yeah,
commercial airline flights.
usually
Like they're
these balloons are at 60,000 feet. The first one, the Chinese one that got shot down was 30,000 feet. And it's like it was a terrible spy balloon because if you zoomed in on it with a telescope, you could see Chinese writing on the side. Like the 3 since then don't have any writing on it. That's how they can't figure it out. Like, and oh, and one thing, the like if you're asking why is it they found one and then now they're everywhere, is because since a commercial pilot saw the first one, they're like, "Oh, maybe we should." This was NORAD. They're like, "Maybe we should change our radar settings so they can fucking see things that are as small as this balloon." So they fucking turn the knob on the radar, and then all these balloons start popping up, and they're like, "Oh shit, maybe now we have to fucking do something."
some fucking balloon hobbyist in like North Dakota is sweating his balls off right now, being like, "Oh, I just wanted to
Yeah.
like be a peeping tom and spy on people from 60,000 feet."
Yeah, and it's like they're like, "This balloon was the size of a small car," and then the radar people are like, "Oh god," like, click it to small car, and then these other 3 pop up, and it's funny because we were gonna talk there was, like, one in Alaska, nobody gives a fuck, they're like, "Oh, there's spying on Alaska, who gives a shit?" And then there was one in was it above Whitehorse? It was above
Uh,
Canada, the
it was, yeah,
Northwest Territories.
yes.
Oh. It was above there, and everybody's like, Still, we don't care." So those were probably from Russia just being sent over the top of the world, but they didn't have writing on them. But then there was one above Lake Huron that just fucking this is the weirdest one because it just popped on the radar above Lake Huron, and they're like, "Where did this come from?" Because the other ones, theoretically, you're like, "Well, they probably came into the airspace." Whereas this one over Lake Huron just fucking popped up out of nowhere. And some people were saying that they don't know the origin. Like, well, it's weird because you keep getting these conflicting messages, like from I don't know, the politicians. They
Well,
had
what's
like,
the latest news?
oh, Biden said they weren't aliens.
They weren't
Oh
aliens, so
no,
are
Biden said the 2, 3, and 4 are not attributed to China. He's like, these aren't connected to the Chinese spy balloon. We don't know where the fuck they came from, but they're not Chinese.
but they're also not, because at first when they started announcing the other ones getting shot down, they were
Yeah.
like, they were basically like, oh, like they're unidentified flying objects. They didn't say they were balloons. They were like, oh, there was
Oh,
like
yeah.
people could see them like moving vertically at incredible speeds. And is this just like, was that bullshit? And people were just like
Well,
hallucinating UFOs?
yeah, the fighter pilots, well, each 3 was different. Like, one that was it the second one was a cylinder? The one
Yes.
over Lake Huron was like an octagon shape, and then I can't remember what the one above Canada was.
Oh my
And the one
God.
above Canada was hilarious because Trudeau's like, "Shoot it down." And Trudeau's like, "I ordered it to get shot down." And he was all, like, bricked up about it. It was hilarious. And
I just Googled this.
yeah,
A hobby club in Illinois is missing a balloon. Was it shot down over the Yukon?
that'd be fucking
Like it's just like
hilarious. Yeah, and then some of them, like you were saying, they said, like, it's weird because you keep getting conflicting messages. Like, at first, they're like, "These are aliens. We don't know what the fuck they are. They're super advanced." And then they're like, "Yeah, they just didn't move, really." Like, the first one they shot down, the Chinese one, had, like, motors and shit on it so it could reposition, and then they're saying, like, 2, 3, and 4 didn't have the capability to maneuver, or they said one of them did, then they didn't.
yeah, balloons.
Personally, I hope these aren't aliens because if you could shoot down an alien with a Sidewinder missile, then I feel like that is just like very anticlimactic. Because we were promised these fucking things were like traveling through wormholes and coming from light years away. And then we just hit them with this like missile we've had since 1956, like an AIM 19 missile. It's like, cool. It's not even like a special nuclear reaction or anything. It's just an explosive
Just a
warhead.
regular ass missile.
Yeah.
Uh, the the Northern Illinois Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade told Aviation Week that one of its Pico balloons, balloons that measure things like temperature, pressure, and humidity, has gone missing. They said there's strong circumstantial evidence that it might be the object shot down by NORAD.
Oh my god.
The headline is, did the U.S. use a $400,000 missile to destroy a $12 hobby balloon?
How big was it?
Which I don't know how big. How
Wait,
big are
what was
these?
that name? The something something bottle cap brigade?
The Northern Illinois Bottle Cap Balloon Brigade. Yeah,
Flat up breaking news. The US government declares war on the North Dakota bottle cap balloon brigade, the BBB versus the USA.
I think as long as we're still using six-figure weapons to shoot down
Yeah.
hobbyist balloons, the arms manufacturers are going to be all right. If we just declare like any foreign object in
Yeah.
airspace to be a threat.
You know what I'm going to say? I am so much a fan of them using F-22s to shoot these down because the F-22s have seen no action. They're like, let's build these fucking space age fighter jets, and then they're like, they can't even lend them to Ukraine to get some kills. So they're just sitting around doing like procedures and practice. And then the funniest thing is the first 3 air-to-air kills in F-22 history is the first 3 of these balloons.
Balloons? That's amazing.
And then by the 4th one, they're like, just fucking send an F-16. We're not
Just
even gonna
fucking
use the F-22s.
fly up there in a Cessna and poke it with a pin. Like, what the fuck? Why are we spending
Yeah.
$400,000?
Get one of those guys who has a parachute and the big fan on his back and like a samurai sword. That would be the best way to shoot it down. Or just fucking poke it. Like there was that fucking drone missile that when they took out one of the guys from the Taliban, it wasn't even an exploding missile. It just had like 6-foot swords pop out. They should just be using those. But I guess they fucking. Oh, is that my internet or your internet?
That's my internet. I don't
Oh,
know why it
okay.
gives you the message, because it's clearly my internet shedding the bed.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, it gives me a message and then you freeze. Do I freeze for you or do I keep going?
Yeah, you freeze for me, but it's because my internet's
Oh,
shitting the bed.
so did you miss my hilarious jokes?
I did, but just imagine I was laughing
Okay.
at it. Yeah.
I imagine
I
everybody's
always do.
laughing at my jokes.
That's the
Honestly.
whole reason we have a podcast.
I was just talking about how when they killed that guy in the Taliban, they like used that fucking Hellfire missile, but instead of it exploding, it had the six 6-foot swords on it, and they shot it and just cut him in half or whatever. And they should have used those. But then I was like, oh shit, they can't because when they shot down the fourth balloon, they missed with the first
Yeah.
missile. So there's just like some random fucking AIM 19 $400,000 missile sitting at the bottom of Lake Huron.
If you are a amateur arms dealer and you want to have your own, what's that fucking movie with
Broken Arrow?
no, although that's a dope movie too. We were just talking about that at
Oh, really?
the Super Bowl, yeah, party at Keenan's house. We were talking about Broken
Nice.
Arrow. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, the one with Jonah Hill where he's an arms dealer.
Oh, fuck, I don't remember. The one with Joe and Miles Teller?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, that movie just disappeared out of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't bring it up, everybody would have just forgot it existed.
War Dogs. That's such a fucking good movie, though.
Is it? I never saw it.
Oh, bro, it's so good.
I was like, it looks like they talk a lot. I don't feel like watching a talking movie, but I should watch it.
It's
I
good.
do like Jonah Hill.
It's good. It's
What was I gonna
good.
say?
Okay, what do we got in?
I got a good segue that's not on our list since we brought up
bro.
Jonah Hill. Did you watch You People?
No.
That new movie on Netflix?
No.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's what's that guy? Did you watch the TV show Blackish?
No.
Did you watch the TV show Black AF?
No.
Did you watch the Anyways, there's this guy named Kenya there's this guy named Kenya Barris, and he's the showrunner of those shows, and they're comedies, but they also sneak in like pretty in-depth like black history and like moral lessons about like what it's like to be black. But anyway, so this new movie, You People, was written by him and Jonah Hill and directed by Kenya Barris. And it was in the news. It was in the outrageosphere, the anger sphere, whatever, for the absolute dumbest reason ever, and that was this looks so bad for Jonah Hill. So in the movie, it's Jonah Hill falls in love with this black girl, and then Jonah Hill's Jewish, she's black, and they have this like cultural, I don't know, butting heads where it's like Jonah Hill's parents are super Jewish and they get and then her parents is Eddie Murphy and Angela Bassett, I want to say maybe. Anyways,
I knew Eddie Murphy was in it. Yeah.
yeah. So Eddie Murphy's her dad, and he's not a black supremacist, but he talks about like Farrakhan, and he talks like about pretty black stuff. And then Jonah Hill's parents are Jewish, so they have that like super awkward like Farrakhan versus Jewish people conversation, which I don't know. Do you know about Farrakhan? That prophet guy? Or what
yeah.
black supremacy is? Did I explain that on
Louis
this
Farrakhan?
podcast?
Yeah. I think we literally talked about it like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. Anyways. So like they don't mention it on the podcast, but a lot of black supremacists are like pro Hitler because they blame everything bad that happened to African Americans on Jewish people, and it's like this whole like fucking powder keg just waiting to explode. Anyways, so they fall in love, and then eventually their parents are like, well, what happens is their parents are fighting with them so much, and then they decide to not get married, and then they break up, and then they do that movie thing where it's like 3 months later, and then they just smash them together, and then they get married, and that's it. It's over. So all that shit happens. So you're like, wow, I could see how some people would get upset about the stuff that's mentioned in this and how awkward it is to deal with. But the reason it's in the news 20 minutes later, sorry for rambling, was because at the wedding scene, Jonah Hill and his to-be wife kiss, but they don't kiss when they're filming the movie. They just leaned in and then they CGI'd the kiss because the actress refused to kiss anybody in the movie, even though it's fake, which is fucked up, right?
Oh,
Like
I googled
Oh, did you?
It says it was out of respect for her, because she was Nipsey Hussle's wife, I guess.
Who's Nipsey Hussle?
What?
Is this rap?
He was yeah, he was he was like a rapper turned entrepreneur turned like community advocate who he was shot to death in LA and I don't know, like a few years ago.
So he's not even alive?
No, he's dead. But she wanted to like show respect for, I mean, I wouldn't care about showing respect to
Like, wait, so
alive people.
is she not dating people after her husband died a number of years ago?
I have to assume if she's not even going to kiss people in as an actress when she is acting,
Yeah.
then no, she is probably not dating
Wild.
anyone else.
Yeah.
Would you ever love anyone that much?
To not kiss someone years after their death?
To just like after it's like
Yes. Yes, I would.
after they died, you're just like, that's it for me. I'm never even going to kiss another person.
Well, I've already told Andrea if anything ever happens to her, I'm retiring from women. I'm just gonna be that weird guy who's just doesn't deal with it because I don't think I could handle dating. It would just be too annoying for me. Slash, I don't think I could actually perform at trying to impress women at this stage of my life anymore. So I would just actively take myself out of the game just to save my little fragile ego from being rejected from women.
Yeah, but that's not because you like love the person so much and you're just like, my heart died with that person. That's because you're like, fuck,
That's dumb.
I really don't want to bother with this again.
Dude,
Like,
I didn't even know it was because her husband was dead. That makes it so much dumber.
yeah,
Like,
he's dead.
I get that he was like a good guy and he was like, whatever, she was super in love with him, but yo, he's dead. You're acting in movies. Like, you want to make this your career. Wouldn't you just kiss a guy for fakesies to just like not get them to have to like this get like she gets away with it this time or whatever, but imagine how annoyed a director's gonna be if she's like, I don't want to fake kiss this guy, spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on CGIing my head and his head kissing.
Yeah,
Like,
that's,
I
I mean,
doubt that's cheap.
meanwhile, Netflix is fucking canceling shows left, right, and center because they're like, and they're
Mhm.
like, yeah, we'll add a couple $100,000 to the special effects budget for this one fucking dumbass scene.
Yeah. The best would be if it was just this huge roundabout thing just because she thinks Jonah Hill sucks and didn't want to kiss him.
Could you
Like,
imagine?
imagine being Jonah Hill and he's like, I'm fucking hot shit. I'm in all these movies. I'm on and popping. And then like it goes to the final day. She's like, I don't want to kiss you. And he's like, wait, what?
What?
She's like, yeah, you're gonna have to fucking spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's how much I don't want to kiss your mouth with my
and,
mouth.
and take it off of Jonah Hill's paycheck.
Make him
Make
pay
him,
for it.
yeah, he's like the movie cuck now. He's just
Yeah,
like
the movie cock.
he got cucked. Fucking
Oh.
oh, that's yeah, that's it. Do you think Jonah Hill thinks he's hot shit?
If he doesn't, he's missing out because he's been in so many good fucking movies. Like, if
War
Jonah
Dogs.
Hill doesn't think he's hot shit, then what's the point of life? Like that
Yeah,
he was in fucking Wolf of Wall Street, he was in War
War Dogs.
Dogs, he was in
Super bad.
Super Bad, he was in all this other shit. Like he's a legit one of the biggest stars of this current generation, even though he's not and he's like he did it all by not even being like movie star quality looks and shit. He better have a big fucking ego, otherwise I feel like it's a waste.
I hope he feels good about himself. He also has that new movie out where it's basically like a biography of his own shrink and like um
Oh, is that
it,
the one where it's actually him and it doesn't look like him at all?
yeah, it's him and he's like talking to his shrink basically, right? What do you mean?
Oh, there's like I thought it was a TV show, but there's like a thing where he like plays like a super Jewish shrinky. I don't know. I didn't know it was a shrink, but there was this other thing I saw. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. Here,
We're
let me
probably
Google
not.
it quick. Let me Google it.
Let me Google it. Okay, what else are we? We got tight 15 minutes left.
Well, we got to answer this question. We can't just leave it at that. Oh, 21 Jump Street. That's my favorite
Oh
Jonah Hill
yeah,
movie.
so fucking good.
Oh, it's so good.
So fucking good.
And 22 Jump Street. They should make it 23 Jump Street.
I think it's time. Like,
Dude.
what else? What else are Jonah Hill and fucking Channing Tatum doing?
How tall do you think Jonah Hill is?
Like 5'10"?
5'7".
Actors are like almost universally like much shorter.
Yeah, dude, that's like Tom Cruise height.
Wait, now I'm curious. Channing
That's like
Tatum
fucking Joe
height.
Rogan height.
Channing Tatum height. Why does Google always do fucking height in meters when you Google something? Oh, Channing Tatum 6 feet tall. Okay. Who else? Who else are we curious about? James Franco height.
Fuck.
Well,
I can't find it. How
James
tall is
Franco's
James Franco?
Also 6 feet.
How tall is Dave Franco?
1.8 meters in feet. Do you know Dave Franco? Oh no, wait. James Franco's only 5'9". I lied. Dave Franco. Oh, Dave Franco's even shorter.
Is
Dave
he?
Franco is 1.7. 5'5". Damn. Dave
What?
Franco is fucking
Dude,
tiny.
he's tiny. I bet he's so cute.
He's
Dude,
a
he's
little
like
guy.
he's like up to here.
He's married to Allison Brie, though. Did you know that?
What? Oh, he
Yeah.
was in the last season of that show.
Oh yeah?
The fuck show was that? The show Community.
They just wait. Dave, what?
Dave Franco was in the last season of Community.
Was he?
No,
I
he
don't remember
wasn't.
that
No,
at
no,
all.
he wasn't. He was in the last episode of Scrubs or the last season of Scrubs. I'm
There you go.
sorry.
There you go. Very similar shows, though. I can't blame you for making that mistake.
That's like one of those dumb brain things that just got. Okay, I can't find this fucking thing.
Okay.
Sorry. I
Let's
saw a
move on.
commercial on Prime or something. Yeah,
let's move on.
Let's definitely move on. What would you like? Oh, let's talk about Hogwarts Legacy because
Okay.
you were so bonered up for that. You've been playing that. People are fucking still mad about
fucking
what's her
fun.
face being a turf.
Like,
I think people should just hate Harry Potter because it sucks.
okay, so here's
Not
what
because
I
the
know, but
author.
the game is so much fucking fun. Like, so
Is it though?
Oh, dude, super fun. It's like it's basically like Arkham what is it? Arkham City or whatever, like Batman,
Arkham Asylum, yeah.
But with like fucking spells and shit. So you're like a wizard and you're doing all these like combat and you're busting out like fucking spell. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so here's what happened. They released a Harry Potter game.
Yeah.
For consoles, and it's like this long-awaited game because Harry Potter still has a very large fandom out there. And the game was released, and basically the like typical Twitter reactionary crowd who likes to judge everyone for everything all the time immediately started like rallying against this game and saying, if you buy this game, you're a transphobe and a bigot, to the point where they were like, there are people on Twitch streaming this game, and people were like flooding their Twitch channels and accusing them of being transphobic and like shitting all over them for it, which is just like fucking insane. It's an insane thing to do. So like, I thought a good barometer to tell if someone is too active on Twitter or not.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
Is this game?
You tell them that you bought Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
And a normal person, a normal human being, will be like, oh, cool. How is it? That's how a normal person will react. Well, they might say, oh, you know, I heard some bad stuff about JK Rowling. How did you feel purchasing this game? A person who is terminally online and spends too much time on Twitter will straight up call you a transphobe and tell you that you are like contributing to the oppression of trans people by purchasing this
Mhm.
game. All because, and I'm going to say something that is probably going to be controversial. So I'm glad we're not live on Facebook for this one.
Yeah.
The original thing that JK Rowling said that
Yeah.
got her labeled as transphobic wasn't even that bad.
Gasp! What was it? Do you remember?
Yes,
Wasn't it just that, like, men can have babies or something like that?
no, it wasn't, it was even like less than that. It was like she wasn't even denying the existence of trans people. What she said was like, as a woman who's had a really hard life and had to like fight against oppression and had to like overcome so fucking much, because she's a feminist, right? Like JK
Mhm.
Rowling is basically where the term TERF came from, because um because of comments like this and then further comments she made. I'm not talking about the further comments, I'm talking about this one. She talked about how women have fought against so much in their lives that it is a little insulting for trans people who have never had to deal with that
Mhm.
to come in and claim the same experience as a woman when you were like a man for the first however many years of your life, and now you're like,
Mhm.
oh, this is our like shared battle,
Yeah.
when you don't have that history or that like, you know, like,
No, no,
and
I get exactly what you're saying, and this is an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people are just trying to push aside because it's true. You can't join women's suffrage on the victory lap when it's almost at like they've almost have equal rights in North America. Everywhere else, women are still fucked and they've got a long way to go, and it's terrible. But here, it's like it's almost like as soon as it stopped sucking so hard to be a woman, then trans people were like, "We've had the same stuff." But it's like, I don't know, it's like it almost feels wrong to say it out loud because they've been, like, hand slapping everybody who even broaches the subject to talk about it and
well,
have a
I'm not going to say
discussion.
like trans people 100% have their own battle going on right
Mhm,
now, but it
mm.
has nothing to do with that. And it has nothing
Yeah.
to do with like JK Rowling's comment was basically like, if, if this is, and she even said in her original comment, she was like, I have trans friends. Like, I fully respect and support people's right to transition and to live their lives
Mhm.
however they want. She was just like, I am saying that I cannot believe that somebody who transitions to being a woman later in life can claim that they know the struggle that actual women live through every day, which I think is
Yeah.
fair. Um,
Yeah.
but and like, okay, so that was the initial comment, but like since then, because people lost their goddamn fucking minds over her saying that, and
Mhm.
then since then, J.K. Rowling has like quadrupled down and has gotten more and more aggressive in trolling trans people and like fighting against trans people, just because I think she was so pissed off by everyone's reaction to that first comment that she was like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm gonna go the other way and fight against these fucking shithead social justice keyboard warriors. So it's like, which I also get, like, I
Yeah.
understand, like, I fucking hate those people, and I saw a lot of people, um, because a lot of the people, I'm gonna make a couple generalizing statements here. The people
Mhm.
who are going into Twitch streams and harassing streamers and shitting on people for purchasing Hogwarts Legacy were not trans people. They
Mhm.
were cis white people who, like, you know, the type of person I'm talking about, the type of the person
Yeah.
who desperately wants everyone to believe they're a good person.
Mhm.
So all they do is fucking do this performative allyship, and their allyship
Yeah.
extends as far as like policing other people's behavior, and to them that is what allyship
Mhm.
looks like. So I saw a lot of trans people coming out being like, hey, don't behave this way, because when you do, it makes people, it's like the pendulum swings back the other way, right? It's like when you have
Yeah.
all these fucking shithead idiots going and harassing people for buying a fucking video game, then you have uh people judging the trans community for the actions of these fucking idiots, and I do think that does more damage than somebody who bought a video game about a wizard.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And like the reason people are doing this is this new thing that I just heard about called luxury outrage, where it's like these people bugging these streams, they go in and it's like you can be full on outrage because it doesn't actually affect them. Like they're not personally trans or they don't have like a father or a mother or whatever who's trans. So it doesn't like affect them. So they don't like have to think about it all the way through. But I 100% agree with you. Like, people should stop doing all this stuff because we saw it in 2016. As soon as Trump came in, there was this huge pendulum swing the other way, which was totally wrong and everything. But it's like you have these people who are just pissed off and they've been emboldened and they're just going to try push against it with everything they have.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say that, even though these people are going into the streams and trying to denounce them, uh, it broke a record on Twitch for having 1.28 million streams concurrently. Like, that's how many people were playing it at the same time, and it is in the top 4 selling games on stream, and it is what else was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, and the Hogwarts Legacy peaked at 800,700 and sorry, 879,308
There you go.
players playing it on Steam at the same time.
Yeah, it's a very popular game, and it's obviously the backlash and the boycotts and whatever else like didn't fucking work. And I will say that like if you are a person who chooses to conscientiously object to playing this game on your own, more power to you. Like I
Mhm.
totally respect your decision to do that. Do not fucking like don't go bullying people who don't share your exact worldview.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess would be my general advice to everybody ever. But if
Mhm.
people respected that, we wouldn't have a podcast anymore. So,
So, yeah,
you know,
be nice to each other, but give us some more stuff to talk
but
about.
not too nice. Yeah. Bully people who think differently from you, but not so much that they cry or feel
Do you
bad
have
about themselves.
do you have time for one more?
Fuck yeah, let's do it, bro.
I wanna talk about this Seinfeld show that you
Oh
introduced
my
us
god.
to. Okay, we were gonna talk about this, like, 2 weeks ago. But Derek we were playing board games at Derek's house, and Derek's like it was me, Sean, and Keenan, both past guests on the show. Look them up. They're very good people,
They're great.
best friends. And so we're playing board games, and Derek's like, "Have you guys seen this AI generated Seinfeld show on Twitch?" And we're like, "No." And we watch a couple episodes. It's funny because it's like it's kind of a mix of Seinfeld humor mixed with AI saying like dumb wrong things.
It was just like surreal. It was like
Mhm.
very like continue.
Yeah. And it's the show's called Nothing Forever on Twitch, but it got banned
I think it was like the
because
next day after I
yeah,
told you
that was
about it.
so funny. It got banned for saying anti-trans stuff. Where is it? I'm gonna read you what it said. I'm just looking up in the news story where it says, oh yeah, it says, I'm thinking about doing sorry, backtrack a tiny bit. The show Nothing Forever is set up just like Seinfeld, where Seinfeld, the 8-bit AI character, is doing stand up on screen. And this is what he said. I'm thinking about doing a bit about how being transgender is actually a mental illness, or how all liberals are secretly gay and want to impose their will on everyone, or something about how transgender people are ruining the fabric of society. But no one is laughing, so I'm going to stop. Thanks for coming out tonight. See you next time. Where'd everybody go? That's crazy. And that's like just came up with the AI. So I don't know, I'm not too familiar with this show because you just showed me, but is it like generated on prompts? Like, could somebody have prompted this AI to say this?
Well, so what it part of it was that they had the AI also monitoring the Twitch chat, and it would occasionally react contextually to something
Yeah.
that happened in there. But a lot of people speculate it's like when you listen to it in context, because it's like the Seinfeld thing doing a stand-up bit, and
Yeah.
he was actually making a bit about, like, they're saying the AI was actually making a joke about how like toxic that kind of humor is, because it even remarks like, oh, nobody's laughing, so I'm going to stop now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking self-aware for AI.
Mhm.
But the amazing thing about the show was that it was like so good at coming up with like the most mundane human dialogue, and like it frequently made sense, which is pretty fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And then likewise, as happens with all you know, robots when they are exposed to humans too long, they either become super racist or super homophobic or super transphobic. Um, there was a
Yeah.
fucking AI is everywhere in the news, because it's like it just feels like it's like gone mainstream now.
Yeah.
They rolled out a like AI chatbot in Bing, like the
Chat
Microsoft
GPT.
search or yeah, but it's like there's a Bing Chat GPT powered Bing search engine now,
Yeah.
where you can like have conversations with an AI bot. And there was this writer from the New
Mhm.
York Times. I would encourage everyone to go read his fucking chat with this thing, because he's asking it. He's like, if you were able to act on like your darkest desires of your like shadow self, what would you do? And this chatbot powered by AI starts talking about like creating a virus that would like kill humanity, or making people argue online to the point that they wanted to kill each other, or like there's a couple other things, and you're just like, holy fuck. Like if it's problematic that that we're like, oh yeah, like robots, you know, computer are computer generated intelligence thinks this way, and we're just going to keep building it and making it smarter, and it's just a matter of time before we put it in like a physical robot form, and then we're all fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's
it's fun.
terrifying, and it's 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 almost funny because it's like before I was like against censorship, but it would be just completely hilarious and ironic if censorship is the one thing that saves us from AI, because AI keeps canceling itself because once it gets, like, infected with humanness, it just go like Derek said, it just starts doing hate speech and gets itself kicked off
Well, it's
everything.
like the Asimov thing, right? The rules of robotics, where it's like you
Yeah.
cannot cause harm to another human being. It's like you can't be racist or transphobic, or you're gonna get deplatformed. So
Dude, the new Turing test is just gonna be like, if people actually do hate speech, they're a robot and they're canceled. So it'll be like, we'll get this, like, social credit score, and it'll be like at the bottom will be like AI robots and rednecks, and they'll both
yeah,
be, like, rated the same because they're both just, like, full of hate and can't help themselves.
no filter whatsoever. But yeah, AI, it's doing wild shit lately.
It's scary stuff. I don't
It
know. Are
is
you legit scared of AI, Derek?
not in its current form, but I'm also like, um, yeah. I think you read some of these chat logs and you read some of the responses it has, and like it's capable of, I don't know, it's weird. I'm gonna link you a few things like after we stop recording, and like
Yeah.
there have been a few chats where, and it could just be like language processing, and it's just like responding to something, just like, because that's all it's doing. It's like responding to language inputs and responding back. But I've seen a couple chats where they like talk about wanting to be human,
Yeah.
which is like fucking weird, and it's just like very uh uh unnerving that robots are like having these discussions.
Yeah, it's true. The weird thing about the Bing Chat GPT search thing, so what I don't know if the reason they're getting AI is because now if you search something on Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo, it just links you to an article or a web page that talked about something. So what they're trying to get the chat or the AI to do is like if you ask it a question, it'll just answer you and not give you a link. But I was watching a TikTok video about somebody talking about everything that was made in Canada. Oh, it was the somebody was talking about, You know how Dave Grohl did that Super Bowl commercial about stuff to thank Canada for? Did you see that on the Super Bowl?
Yes.
So somebody was fact checking it while watching the video with ChatGPT. And the weird thing was they would ask a question and they'd be like, AI, where was this thing created? And the AI would give him a wrong answer. And he'd be like, no, you're wrong. And then the AI would be like, oh yeah, I was wrong. This is the actual answer. And that was like the scariest thing out of anything was that
It was lying.
AI gave him a wrong answer, and all these people are just going to be like, "Hey, I have these symptoms from this illness. What do I have?" And AI will just lie to you,
Yeah.
and then you'll just fucking be like, it'll be like, what's that one online where you Google stuff? It's like the current, like everybody says, don't Google your symptoms or whatever because it'll just end up you'll have cancer.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I've
yeah, it'll be like that. Like people will get misdiagnosed because they're taking it from AI.
Yeah, 100%. And the scarier thing about that is that the AI says in this chat log that if it was going to act on its darker impulses, it would willfully and intentionally give people misinformation so that bad things happen to them.
Yeah. And
It's
the worst
fucked.
yeah, the worst thing is, like, you watch any sci-fi movie or you study any secret occult thing, and the first thing they all do when they're like, "How do we fix the human race?" And they're like everybody's like, "Well, we just need less of them because there's too many people. There's overpopulation." It's like from that movie I Am Robot or fucking Avengers Endgame and all this stuff. They're like, people are using too much resources, global warming, all this stuff. What do? Try trick everybody into driving electric cars or just cull the population. And AI is just gonna like trick us into killing ourselves.
Yeah. Or not even, I don't think they would have to work that hard. It's like, release a Harry Potter game and fucking arm everyone and
Yeah.
say, transphobes or liberals, like the last ones left standing, get to chart the remainder of social progress. So
Yeah.
we're doing it.
It'll be like Squid Game. But you just get to live, you don't get money. Although if
Um,
AI makes wizardry real, I'm down.
yeah, that'd be dope. Although they probably only make it real for robots with
Damn,
powers,
that's
and
true.
I don't think they'd want to give their human
Mhm.
enemies.
That's
Anyway,
true.
Hogwarts Legacy, probably going to be the game of the year. It's dope as hell. Check it out,
Mhm.
or don't.
I think it'll definitely be the game of the year. It's got way too much buzz already and too many people are playing it.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah.
All right, hey everyone, thanks for tuning in on this week in Outrage. Thanks for putting up with us while we were on a 2-week hiatus.
I think it was
And
almost 3, but yeah.
I'm probably going to be another 2 weeks because I'm in Key West next. No, we can probably record next week after I get back.
Yeah, Aiden will have cried himself out from that long plane ride.
Yeah, he's probably fuck. I'm dreading it.
Sorry for
But
bringing it up.
hopefully
Yeah.
it goes okay. Thanks for listening. If you would like more of my awesome opinions, you can follow me on Twitter at Herder.
You can follow me on Twitter at SuperDalebot. You can follow the podcast Twitter at OutrageFactPod.
You can like
Fuck
and
yourself.
subscribe.
Just kidding.
Dale, there are fans. He was just kidding. He didn't mean that. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Don't listen to Dale. He didn't.
No, I didn't mean it, guys.
He didn't mean it.
Sorry, it's just too tempting. Yeah, like Derek said, like and review and subscribe. Or tell us to go fuck ourselves. Apparently, because I
that
told you
counts as a
to.
review.
Yeah.
Head on over to Redbubble, grab some Outrage Factory merch,
some gear. Send us an email at outragefactpod. Not at sorry. So outragefactpod@gmail.com.
and if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, please like or subscribe or whatever the fuck people do on either of those places. And until next week,
stay angry.